Alright, so Thursday, I got a live game in with Omnath, locus of search, locus of counters. He ain't quite the locus of all, but he's a locus of good stuff. Actually, Omnath, locus of good stuff. There we go. Okay, so how did he do? What does he do? Why am I playing this damn deck? So obviously 5 colors, black or 2 life. Usually it's 2 life. So I'll normally cast him for blue, green, red, white, and 2 life. 4/4. If I lose unspent mana, it becomes black instead. Cool, he's a black mana battery. Beginning my pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of my library. I could show it to everybody if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols in its mana cost. If I do, I get 3 mana in any combination of colors. Its colors. The spell's colors. Okay, so I didn't think that through because I don't have many cards in this deck that have 3 or more colored pips. So if I show a green-white card that has, like, let's say it's 2 green and 1 white, any combination, so I could use 3 white instead for the mana. Okay, good to know, but it's not really relevant in this deck. And if I don't reveal it, I put it in my hand. So basically it's card draw. So he draws me more cards. Right, so let's review how he did, and I'm going to make a few changes. So I'll show the cards that I actually got to play with. I actually got to see work. Marquesa. Oh, she was great. So it was a 3-man game. Cube, the genie, and I, and the lads got me down to 6 life. I was at 6 life before I stabilized. But when I stabilized, I took control of the game, and I'll tell you how once I get to those cards. But her, oh, she's a fucking all-star. So at one point, I had, I think, about 8 creatures. Maybe 10. I had a good number of creatures. Most of them had counters on them. Marquesa did not. And Cube cast a board wipe. And I said, I'm all these creatures plus and plus and counters, I'm going to get them back at the end of the turn. He's like, oh, well, I'm casting it anyway. Alright. So Marquesa died, something else died, everybody else came back because of the delayed trigger she has. Whenever a creature you control with a plus or plus a counter on it croaks, return to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. And then also the dethrone was great because the genie got up to like 200 life. So I kept attacking him once I stabilized and whittling him down. I didn't get my Smuggler's Surprise. I drew my Earthquake, but I didn't cast it. Fathom Mage, got her in play, and she's, I mean, in a deck that puts plus and plus encounters on your creatures, she cannot not be good. 2 blue-green, 1/1 human wizard, evolve. Whenever a bigger creature in either power toughness comes into play, she gets a counter, you draw a card. She doesn't care how the counters get there. If Kenny's out, which he didn't come out, I didn't see him that game at all. 1 green, put a plus and plus on counter target creature, give her a counter. So basically, Kenny, if she's in play, says, spend 1 in the green, draw a card. Nice. What else worked? I had him in play, Molten Hydra, and I actually, fucking airplanes. I live in, you know, they changed the flight path a few months ago, and probably every 5 to 10 minutes for the next hour, we're going to have an aircraft fly over as they land in beautiful Prague, Czech Republic. So Molten Hydra, 1 in red for a 1/1 Hydra. 1 double red, it gets a plus and plus encounter. Well, I used its ability once just to get something on it, and then afterwards, it was Gavany Township that was putting counters on him, and I got him up to 3 counters, and I didn't need to use them because Cube had big creatures, the genie had big creatures. He was playing his black-green elf deck, so I could see the potential, but in that game he wasn't really relevant. Tap, remove all plus and plus encounters from Molten Hydra. He deals 1 damage to target creature or player for each counter removed this way. What else did I get out? I didn't get my survival. I didn't get my tooth and nail. So I didn't have any real way of searching. Yeah, I got him. Oh yeah, I got him. Didn't get my burgeoning, didn't get my master biomancer, none of this. Got him. He's just solid. Any kind of multicolor deck, he's just fantastic. 2 and a green, 2/4, enchantment creature, Dramatic Nymph. Can play in addition, so he's exploration tacked on to a prismatic omen with a 2/4 body. I mean, it's perfect. What's not to love? Oh yeah, that was great. Let's talk about that in a minute. Put him back there. I did get Venser, and he did his job. He always does his job. Venser works hard. He comes in, he flashes, and he does some shit. 2 double blue for a 2/2 flashy human wizard. When he slams into the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Boing! Gone. Didn't get the Kolrath Knight. In that game, no, I drew him, but I didn't cast him because neither the genie nor cube were putting counters on their creatures, so he didn't really matter. And I just didn't need to cast him. But against Tyranids, oh yeah. Oh look, all your Tyranids have counters. I'm going to play this 5 mana 3/3 flyer that says your creatures can't attack or block. And because you're commander, every turn you have to put a +1/+1 counter on something. So actually in that case, that'd be funny. So if I play Kolrath Knight, 3 black, red hybrid. If I play him and Cube is playing Tyranids, his commander says during your upkeep, no, pre-combat main, I think. Fucking airplanes. So I'll try to keep talking. Hopefully the jet noise doesn't wash me out. So Cube's commander, I forget her name, but at some point in his initial turn before combat, or maybe at the beginning of combat, he has to put a +1/+1 counter on something. So if I have Kolrath Knight down, he can start putting +1/+1 counters on the other guy's creatures, so they can't attack or block either. That's kind of funny. I like that. Shalai didn't get her. Didn't draw Inspiring Call. I drew him, and it's just solid. It's just reliable, dependable, color agnostic. So as long as I have 4 mana to get him down, he has the 2 counters. Worst case scenario is he chump blocks and I draw a card. But in this scenario, I was able to, every couple turns, probably every other turn I was doing it at one point, put a counter on him. So every few turns, I would put on his 3rd counter, then take off 2 counters and draw a card. He just works. 4 colorless for a 0/0 artifact creature. I bet he's got a new creature type. In the Great Creature Type update, I'm sure he's a golem or something. I need to look that up, because if he's a golem, that might be more useful in some decks. So he comes to play 2 +1/+1 counters. I can spend 1, choose and throw away card. Oh yeah, that's the other reason he's here. Because of Kenny. So Kenny...
Inka's coming because Mommy told me that Inka's coming because we'll take her to the party.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Inka's
Alright. I can choose and discard a card and put a +1/+1 counter on him. So if Kenny's in play, I can spend 1, bin a interesting creature, he gets a counter, and then Kenny can resurrect that creature. I'm sure I thought of that before, but it's always nice to remind myself what my fucking cards do sometimes, because sometimes I forget. I didn't get Boots. Didn't get her. Let's see, what else did I get? What else really worked in this deck? Because if I stabilize at 6 life against 2 other opponents, and I didn't quite win the game I was going to, but there was a discussion. There was some drama. A little bit of drama. I did get Tempt Discovery, Tempt the Lads, and at that point, they looked at my mana suite and said, how much worse can it get? And each of them got a land, so I got 3. Coalition Relic. I'm not sure if I like this. Beginning of your pre-combat, so 3 colorless to build it. Tap it for 1 mana of any color. Tap it, put a charge counter on it. So, if I have Seedborn Muse, this becomes really good. Because during all my opponent's turns, I could put a charge counter on it. So in a 4-man game, opponent 1, I put a charge counter. Opponent 2, charge counter, is Seedborn Muse. Opponent 3, charge counter. So it would have 3 charge counters, and then come back to and I would take it off and get 3 mana. Otherwise, it at best gives me 2 mana every other turn. Because at the end of the opponent preceding me, if I realize I don't need it for an instant or something, like Dawn's Truce, I put a charge counter on it. Then it's my turn. Beginning of my pre-combat main, I take off the charge counter and I get 1 mana, and then I can either tap it to add a mana, or I can put a charge counter on it. But I also have a Doubling Season in here, and Innkeeper's Talent, so if I put charge counters I get more. So I recognize the potential of this card, I recognize what it can do, I just haven't realized the potential yet. And I'm not fully convinced I wouldn't be better served by having Coalition Relic. But I'm going to keep it in here for now until I work through it, until I see how it really operates. I'm going to take Omnath with me next Thursday because I'm going to make some changes. I did draw Sapphire Drake, and I did play him, and he did give all my +++ encountered creatures flying. Which, if I had a creature +++ encounters now, I could block that aircraft, not take any auditory damage. So once I had him down, that was going to be the game. But then the drama started. Didn't get Railway Brawler, didn't get Mikaeus. Not that. Stand up, Omnath. Yeah, fucking drunk. I did get Vexing Shusher down early in the game, but as neither one of my opponents are playing blue, Cube was on black at the time. He was playing mono black. Or was he? I forget what he was playing, actually. Mixing up some of the games. And the Genie was playing black-blue elves. Not black-blue elves, fuck. He's got black-blue fairies. He's got black-green elves. He was playing black-green elves. So I didn't need to use him to counter any spells. So some games, he's just going to be a speed bump, right? He's just going to be a chump blocker. In other games, he's going to be an all-star. He's, I'm going to counter your tooth and nail. The fuck you are. Why do you think I had this son of a bitch on the battlefield? You should look. So he's hit and miss, wildly hit and miss. It's like Red Elemental Blast. I saw this guy on in a comment on some Magic video, and he said all of his decks that have Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast, all of them. I understand where he's coming from, but sometimes they're an absolutely dead draw. Sometimes you're playing against lads that aren't playing blue in any flavor. So Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast just become dead cards, and you wish that you had anything other than them. But this guy, at least he's a creature. Scarg La Fosse de Rage, that's going to come out for something, so let's take that out. That's cool, we're going to talk about that, what happened. And with me saying what happened, you're probably kind of seeing what happened. Keen-Eyed Curator, I got him down. I didn't need to start. I could have, but I just didn't bother exiling cards in the graveyard. By the time he got down, the game was pretty much decided. Let's see, what else worked? What else did I get? Didn't get my Seedborn Muse. Didn't get Growing Rights. I got her. She's awesome. She's incredible. She's fantastic. I like this creature a lot. 2 in a green for 2/1 elf. Shaman Mutant. 1 in green, adapt 2. She gets 2 +++ counters. Whenever she gets a +++ encounter, you return a permanent card from graveyard to your hand at instant speed. If you can put a counter on her at instant speed, you get it. So at the end of the opponent preceding you, if you could put a counter on her, you get something back, so all your mana is fresh and untapped and minty, so you can start casting whatever the hell it is you took back out of the graveyard. Or if I have Burgeoning, if I instant speed, put a counter on her, I can get a land back out, like a fetch land, and then opponent plays a land, or they have played a land, I can get a land back, put it down on their turn, so it's ready to go on my turn. So she's pretty damn cool. Didn't get the Archmage, didn't get those, didn't get defense, I got her. So she's kind of slow. I mean, 4 mana. She's a demigod, so she's not indestructible. Her power can become quite respectable, but her toughness is going to stay at 3 until she starts getting plus and plus encounters. But that each other creature control enters the battlefield with an additional plus and plus encounter on it. Over the course of the game, with this deck, that's huge. Over the course of a game, if I can keep her in play, every creature, I play Fathom Mage. Okay, bang, draw a card. Play a bigger creature. Bang. It comes into play with a plus and plus counter, and Fathom Mage gets bigger because of Evolve. I did get the Act. In fact, I did I do it? I think so I told you about the board wipe with Marquesa, and I think I myself cast a board wipe. I think it was Blasphemous Act with Marquesa in play. Got all my creatures back again. Didn't get the Faber Elder. I did get Cabal Coffers and Urborg though, because I mean, I cast Tempted Discovery, and everybody was tempted. So here's what happened. These two schmucks. These two, my machine gunner and a gunner. It's an infinite combo. It's a 2-card infinite combo that is not hard to assemble. I thought, with the way the lads play and the way they build their decks, I thought they could handle it. I thought they would deal with it. I thought I would get one turn with them, and then shit would happen. One of them would get exiled, one of them would get killed. I wouldn't have a way to bring it back. It would get exiled from a graveyard. That's not what happened. What happened is I drew both of them in my opening hand. So I had 7 cards, 4 land, which one was a fetch land. So I thought, okay, I've got access to all my colors. And by turn 6, Omnath, my black mana battery, was sitting with at least 6 black mana on him. He was storing at least 6 black mana, because I remember I cast the Mephidosh Vampire off of him. So around turn 5-6, take the counters off Omnath, cast Mephidosh Vampire, tap my 6 lands because I'd ramped a little bit. Arcane Signet I hadn't played at one point, so I had the 6 mana. He comes down off Omnath. He comes down off my lands, and every creature that I don't control dies. None of their creatures had hexproof, none of their creatures had shroud, none of their creatures had indestructible. They all got gunned down. And I thought, okay, and they didn't like it, and I knew they wouldn't like it. And they didn't deal with it. They they just were like, this is bullshit 2-card combo. And I said, yeah, but you guys can deal with it, right? No. Are you fucking kidding me? And then, of course, the deck, I built a lot of resiliency into the deck. Evolution Witness. So Cube did blow up Triskelion. And I had Evolution Witness in play. So I brought it back to my hand. I cast it again. And I gunned down whatever creatures I had at the time. And keep in mind, I was only at 6 life. I was down to 6 life when this happened. And when it became clear, once the Sapphire Drake came down, when it became clear that I was going to slowly win the game because the genie was swole, he was over 140 life still at that point, and he only deals with creatures. So if Triskelion deals damage to a creature, Mephidrus Vampire will reload him with a counter. Same with Walking Ballista. Mephidrus Vampire will reload it with a +1/+ encounter if it hits a creature. So I couldn't use them to kill my opponents and win the game. I can just keep all their non-hexproof, non-shroud, non-indestructible creatures off the board. That's all I can do. And the GB at so much life is going to be a couple turns. My creatures, I had hit him at one point for 49 points of damage with the creatures I had. It was Half-Fire Drake, they're all flying, and he didn't have anything to block with anyway. And then we started the Hard Feelings came out because they did have this 2-card infinite combo. It's kind of a douchebag move, and they can't deal with it. So what we agreed I would take the Mephidrus Vampire out. So it was either take him out or take out the Walking Ballista and the Triskelion. Triskelion and Walking Ballista, in and of themselves, can deal with small creatures, can deal damage to my opponents. They can do other things. Him, he just gives my creatures +1/+ encounters, so they deal damage to a creature. So he is what enables them to go infinite. So the agreement is, he comes out, and something I recognized, like I kept saying, I was down to 6 life, right? So I need more life gain in the deck. So let's put her in there. Let's put in an Archangel of Thune. So what does she give me instead of Mephidrus Vampire? Well, she gives me a lower overall CMC. She's the same power toughness. They're both 3/4 flyers. One is Vampire, one is Angel. She costs 3 white, he costs 4 black. But she has lifelink, and whenever I gain life, put a +1/+ encounter on each creature I control. Okay, so if I gain life, and she's in play, and if I got Triskelion or Walking Ballista, then they'll get another counter. If I've got Doubling Season, they'll get a couple more counters. So far, so good. But I probably need even more life gain. Like this, I had this, I don't remember if I got it in play, but it didn't really matter. If my opponents have no creatures, then this doesn't matter. Okay, look, I give my creature +1/+ on trample. You've got nothing to block with anyway. Big deal. But since I need more life, I'm going to take out Skarg, La Fosse de Rage. In favor of Vault of the Archangel, I'm putting this back in. I'd taken it out because I needed another colored source of mana. So I'm putting this back in, taking out Skarg, because both of them give me 1 colorless, or spend mana and tap and get an ability. This green-red, tap, target creature gains +1/+1 trample until end of turn. This 2 mana, black-white tap, creatures control gain death touch and lifelink until end of turn. Now, some of you have seen this. Some of you have seen exactly what I can do now and are thinking, you just replace your 2-card infinite combo that only kills creatures with a 3-card infinite combo that wins you the fucking game. Yes I did. And I think that's still in the spirit of bracket 3, which is where I want this deck, even though we don't really go with the brackets that much. So, I'm trying to get all these on camera. There we go. Kind of. Okay. So, if I have Archangel of Thune, Triskelion, or Walking Ballista in play, and Vault to the Archangel, so it's a 3-card combo now. I have to have 4 mana, specifically 1 black, 1 white, 2 other, Vault to the Archangel in play. So I give all my creatures lifelink and death touch until end of turn. Triskelion now has lifelink and death touch. So take a counter off, he deals 1 damage to any target. She says, whenever I gain life, put a +1/+ encounter on every creature I control. So, he does 1 damage to an opponent. He's got lifelink. I gain life. I put a +1/+1 on a counter on all my creatures, including him. Take off a counter. Deal the damage. So it's an infinite combo that can win me the game. Now, this still presupposes my opponents are able to do anything. Teferi's Protection. Let's see, what else? What else protects you as a player? Gives you Shroud and Hexproof. Witchbane Orb, you have Hexproof. There are a few ways of giving yourself so I can't target you. And if my opponents play those effects where I cannot target them, I cannot kill them. I can just make my creatures bigger and attack, swing in. But the question is a 2-card combo that makes it so I will eventually win the game, that's a douchebag move. If I have a 3-card combo that says I immediately win the game, and it consists of a land that has an activation cost and 2 creatures, how bad is that? Is that a douchebag move, or is that to be expected in a bracket 3 game? Because the games have to end, right? Somebody wins the game. And of course I have to draw these cards. I have to get them somehow. And what I'm thinking is, so I've got Sylvan Scrying, and it can find me a land. I've got Tempt with Discovery, it can find me a land. So if I tempt with Discovery and that gives me the Vault of the Archangel, I can tell the land, so you did it to yourself. You were tempted. But one card I'm thinking of taking out is Survival of the Fittest. Or maybe I should take out Defense of the Heart. I'm going to take out one of these search cards because I ordered a card. It's called Virtue of Loyalty. Virtue of Loyalty. I've got some credit with my LDS, so I went and ordered it. So Virtue of Loyalty is an enchantment. 3 white. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on all your creatures and untap them. It also has, it's an adventure, so the instant adventure side is 1 and a white, create a 2/2 white knight token with vigilance. So I ordered that for this deck because at the end of my turn, every turn, it will untap all my creatures and give me counters. So that sounds pretty damn cool. So I'm thinking I will take out either Survival or Defense of the Heart. Maybe Defense of the Heart, I don't know, I have to think about it, because Tooth and Nail, if I resolve Tooth and Nail, if I resolve a 9-mana spell, and that allows me to put the combo together to win the game, a 9-mana spell, that's kind of to be expected. You know, somebody casts a 9-mana spell, they should win within a few turns. But the low-cost spells, the low-cost cards, Survival of the Fittest, 1 and a green, spend 1 green, choose and discard a card, search a library for creature card. So what would I do with this typically? Choose and discard anything, go get Kenrith. Cast Kenrith, resurrect the creature I discarded, and keep going from there. So, in Defense of the Heart is 3 and a green, enchantment. During upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, you can sacrifice it, go find 2 creatures in the library and put them into play. So one of those has to go. I'm leaning towards Survival of the Fittest because it's repeatable, it keeps going, it's hard to deal with because even if they destroy it, I can activate it in response. I can get something out of it. Defense of the Heart, there are 3 opponents that have 3 turns to deal with it before it triggers. And yes, I can get it back, but then again, it's an enchantment that they can deal with. So I'm thinking Virtue of Loyalty comes out for Survival of the Fittest. What do you think?